New York, iconic, right? The capital of the universe, I've heard it called from time to time. And it's in big, big trouble. It is. It's not funny. It's not amusing. I don't think it's ultimately going to happen. But right now, they say that this guy is the favorite to become the mayor. A dude who eats with his hands.
So the third holy grail of taboos in American politics, you have socialism, you have Islam, and then you have Palestine. And you are really going for the trifecta.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Tell me, why is Palestine a part of your politics?
When you grow up as someone, especially in the third world, you have a very different understanding of the Palestinian struggle.
Look, you could eat with your feet if you're good on the policy and you have integrity and you don't hate Jewish people. I really don't care. But he's none of those things. None of those things. It's incredible. This city, Rudy Giuliani, Mike Bloomberg, right? They transformed it and then maintained, like, possibly as close to perfect as you can get, realistically speaking. Ever since these guys, it's been one Democrat after the next, and they've been pretty unimpressive. Adams is showing signs of life, like he may have learned some lessons, but the stage is set potentially for a literal socialist who wants to seize property by force. This is his dream, and also to destroy Israel.
We have to continue to elect more socialists, and we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right, or whether it's the end goal of seizing the means of production.
At first, I thought he was some sort of Star Trek fan, or I don't know, but we'll talk about his clothes in a little bit. I think it actually is a small issue, but an issue. What did he just say? Other issues we believe in, BDS and seizing the means of production. Now that is communism. That's more than socialism. That's more than government healthcare. The means of production. You make something, he wants to own it. And what was that little thing, BDS? He said it really quick. Boycott, divest, sanction Israel. The man is a hater, 33 years old, knows nothing of the real world. And this is how our corrupt system works. He's the Democrat nominee for this big job. Check this out.
The ramifications of victory here is the difference between life and death for so many of our brothers, sisters, and family beyond the binary across this borough of Queens. It's the difference between having cash bail anymore or not. It's the difference between having sex work be decriminalized and not. And with every battle that we fight as socialists, we need to remember what the stakes are.
You used to have to, if you were a socialist, you didn't advertise that. Now it's his main attraction. Did you catch that part about he wants to make prostitution legal? Is that like, are we ready for that as a society? Right? You want streetwalkers again? You know what that does to young women and girls? And ending cash bail. Well, that is a life and death matter. There are thousands upon thousands of people who have been murdered, who have been raped because of the liberal reforms, quote unquote, to the cash bail system. When this guy saw Black Lives Matter summer, you know, I was repulsed, right? Probably you were too. He saw social justice and an opportunity. If you can get these maniacs to vote for you, you don't need that many. Actually, he became an assemblyman in New York with 8,410 votes, right? That's all who voted for him. That's it. That gave him a seat at the table. That is crazy. But that was in 2020. And things got even worse. BLM was bad enough. And then you could openly persecute and hate on Jewish people in the streets of New York City. Now, that should be condemned, right? No. It was, I believe, celebrated. And also, he tried to harness it for this moment to become mayor. Get enough of those wackos, right? If they're going to come forward with those kinds of views, they'll even vote for a socialist. So they gave him 19 minutes yesterday on Meet the Press. 19 minutes. Oh, I should point out, he's not technically the Democrat nominee yet. There's a couple of formalities that have to go through, but he's the man. He's the man. And the stuff this guy says out loud, this is the kind of stuff they used to cancel you for. right? This is the kind of stuff that was political suicide. But here we are.
We went on your website and realized there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
By invoking race, do you run the risk of potentially alienating key constituents?
I think I'm just naming things as they are.
So I'll name what this is. This is racism. This is not American. This is possibly something he picked up in Uganda where he grew up. Now, I know plenty of great people come from Uganda who are not Idi Amin. This guy is not one of them. What else?
Are you committed to keeping New York as a sanctuary city?
Absolutely, because ultimately we've seen that this is a policy that has kept New Yorkers safe for decades. It's a policy that had previously been defended by Democrats and Republicans alike until the fear-mongering of this current mayor. And it's a policy that we've seen ensures that New Yorkers can get out of the shadows and into the full life of the city that they belong to. And it's one that I will be proud to stand up for.
They used to give lip service to the sanctuary city nonsense. And now we have a full-blown crisis, not only here, but everywhere, really, in America. This is what sanctuary city status has given New York. Illegal criminals, right? And this is horrific. Our city can't cope with this. No American city can cope with it. Law enforcement can't cope with it. These individuals attacked, all of them, gang members from, I believe, El Salvador, attacked police officers. They were arrested, but out within hours. Within hours. Laken Riley, you know, the man who raped and murdered her, was set go by authorities in New York initially, right? Just a few months before, and he made his way down to Georgia. These kinds of policies actually kill people. This is life and death. And it's a big clue why Joe Biden had those borders wide open. Here's one I missed, actually, a while back. AOC speaking in Spanish to a bunch of newly arrived non-citizens and how you can help Democrats. Check it out.
Ya sabes que el censo es un conteo de toda la gente que vive en los Estados Unidos, sin importar tu estado migratorio. Es como nuestras comunidades reciben miles de millones de dólares para programas de los que todos dependemos. ¿Quién ha llenado el censo antes? Tú, en el fondo.
Just like how you get people to sign up for the census when you don't understand the language. And that's true. You can be illegal in a county, in a state, and still be counted in the census. And she's saying, don't worry, immigration can't do anything for you, but we will get more congressional seats. We will have more power. All right, back to Zorhan Lohan. This is how he advertises himself, all right? Okay, what's with the clothes, right? What is with the clothes? There's a lot of reason to not like this guy. It doesn't have too much to do with the clothes, but there is something called assimilation, right? Kind of joining the culture. And there's a lot of room for individuality in our culture. But this is screaming, and he's actually kind of inviting, hey, say something about my clothes. Well, you got it, pal. This is not how we roll here. But okay, maybe it's part of your appeal, right? You really, really, really want to be different. Okay, I can hack that. Again, if you had the right ideas, I could care less. But here he is with his nonsense. And I don't believe him. I just don't believe him. I've seen it too many times.
I get messages that say the only good Muslim is a dead Muslim. I get threats on my life. On the people that I love.
If you get threats on your life, you got to call the cops. And where is that? People should be arrested. If anybody is threatening this man, they should be arrested. There's been no criminal investigation. He hasn't called the cops. What usually happens, and I've seen run-of-the-mill Democrats do this all the time, they deliberately confuse negative comments online, right? And which is still a constitutional right. We're allowed to say things about people. but you're not allowed to threaten. But they conflate the two, and they confuse people, right? Negative comments are not death threats, okay? And if there is a death threat, somebody should be arrested. You shouldn't be going through that, but I don't believe you are. I think you're hyping alleged Islamophobia when anti-Semitism is a real threat in America today. All right. Oh, and he also lies about Trump.
Let me ask you about what Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has had to say. He's had a lot to say about your campaign. He called you a communist. Because he's the president, I want to give you a chance to respond directly to him. How do you respond? Are you a communist?
No, I am not. And I have already had to start to get used to the fact that the president will talk about how I look, how I sound, where I'm from, who I am, ultimately because he wants to distract from what I'm fighting for. And I'm fighting for the very working people that he ran a campaign to empower that he has since then betrayed.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry about MAGA, okay? We know who he is. You, on the other hand, President Trump did not make fun of where you're from, not in a xenophobic sense, right? I'm the one who brought up Uganda, quite frankly. He didn't. I've been through everything he said. Your voice is a little bit of an issue, okay? Not because, well, because of this, because you're a phony.
Welcome to South Africa.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure. A lot of people are afraid of the word socialist, and a lot of people have misconceptions about what it means. I'm a democratic socialist. I actually created a playlist for Mira, who also happens to be my mother. You know, nepotism and hard work goes a
we
long
did this
way.
last week. He changes his voice all the time, and again, that's just a sideshow. But how about this? You've heard the phrase global intifada? I must say I haven't heard it until recently. But it's ugly. It's a call for Jewish genocide. Another definition puts it this way, a call for killing Jews. And then there's this, a call to spread violence, terrorism, and conflict against Israelis and Jewish people worldwide. Okay, that's something that obviously you want nothing to do with that, right? Wrong.
Do you condemn that phrase, globalize the intifada?
That's not language that I use. The language that I use and the language that I will continue to use to lead this city is that which speaks clearly to my intent, which is an intent grounded in a belief in universal human rights.
Why not just condemn it?
My concern is to start to walk down the line of language and making clear what language I believe is permissible or impermissible takes me into a place similar to that of the president who is looking to do those very kinds of things.
That's really something. Now he's going to walk the line. You know, every Sunday show they bring everybody in. Do you condemn January 6th? And this guy basically got a pass on that. Oh, that's okay. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by. 19 minutes he got on that show. Very polite treatment. Yeah, he's not the only one running for mayor. He's up against, at this point, officially, 4 other people. 4 other people, but only he got the invitation. Now, why is that, huh? You get the sense that the fake news may just want him to win? Yeah, and also, usually they at least go, everything's different now, right? I mean, Meet the Press has always been corrupt, but at least when they had somebody on who was so partisan and was so advantageous, they'd put something out there. Like, we tried to invite his opponent. We tried to invite the other side. Chuck Todd used to do it.
We invited every single Republican senator to appear on Meet the Press this morning. They all declined. We invited Senator Lee on the program as well, but he declined to appear for this Sunday. So we invited Meta, Twitter, Google, Snap, and TikTok onto this broadcast to defend their practices and simply have a conversation about the future of their platforms and what can be done here. All of them declined.
All of them declined, and it was so lamentable that they declined. Here they just gave this radical communist, I think if you want to seize the means of production, that's communist behavior. 19 minutes, no adversaries, no counter voice, nothing, just have at it for as long as you want pretty much.